Hey collective, hope everyone is doing good. I don't know, just I guess a random. I've been kind of like dwelling on several different downloads throughout the day, and I guess the one I'm gonna pick is don't be a Y person, a Y person, and a Y person is like why are you worried about that? Why are you over here? Why are you doing this and that? Like basically, why are you in somebody else's business? Sometimes you gotta stifle a white person by asking, by saying something simple like, like shutting down gossip. And it was like a perfect answer I actually heard today. And I was like, that was like the best response ever. And it's just like, I have a life. Like when somebody comes around you with gossip and stuff that just really isn't your business, to shut it down, to keep it from spreading, to stop it from getting down that line of like gossip, because things really do get lost in translation. And the more ears it hits, the more things get lost in translation, the messier the situation gets. And it's like that's what you would call possibly a chaos spell, disaster spell, because so many people are involved in it that is just like it doesn't even matter what was said at first. It's just a straight mess now, right? So yeah, I have a life. Is like I heard it today. I was like, that's the best response ever. No matter what it was intended for, it's just like I don't know. I thought it was great, and like only a Y person would be like embedded in someone's business to the point that someone will actually have to say that. So it's like a Y person is like someone on their Y axis. Maybe they were on a trajectory that they could be an actual frequency, right? But now it's they lost contact with their end game or purpose by sitting there worried about what somebody else's Y was, you know, or what's going on someone else's frequency, which is like their business, their life, how they're operating, how they're moving, or what else is going on in it. And don't involve yourself. That was another one I heard today. It's like what you have people like they used to say in the tabloids and newspapers, oh, the public has a right to know, the public has a right to mind their damn business. But it is what it is. A public has a right to not involve themselves. I heard that today as well. And I in a reading, I thought it was actually hilarious. But it's just like when you become a Y person instead of a frequency, you've detached yourself, whether temporarily or momentarily or permanently. Sometimes, because you can't get caught up in this get out type of situation. Like it's like everything, these rumors and gossips stem from illusions, basically stuff that like really isn't even supposed to exist on any timeline, but through heavy spell work and witchcraft from willing participants, of course. And that's why people who are witches, warlocks and stuff, they typically you know don't do these things alone. They don't do these spells on you don't do they can't do alone, as far as how knowledgeable I think I am, maybe. But it's a reason that they're always trying to get in groups of three. Like I was chilling, and I'm sorry if I'm a little muddled here. You ever chill so hard that you just like you're not even right for your next day at work? That was my day yesterday. I went to Santa Cruz and was chilling. There have been people definitely trying to penetrate my energy, like it's amplified, and it's like I felt their energy of nervousness. I'm like, this is not my energy, ill. So I went and grounded myself in the sand, sat there, and listened to Mother Gaia and just stared into the water. Got those light codes, from the mermaids and everything like that. And yeah, I just tranced out. Like I could feel, and I semi people who were in the background doing whatever they were doing, throwing spell work, black magic, or whatever. It's just like it was like they were nothing, and it was great. And I never experienced that before, because I used to pick up on stuff, and I'm like, I only pick up on what I have to at this point. And that's not. They were unnecessary people, truly, really and truly. And it's just like, you're there to look at the beach, apparently, so if you're sitting there focused on me, why are you, it's starting to look like gang stalking. You're sitting there focused on, somebody else or whatever, and in a negative way or in an antagonistic way. Was, it just looks like gang. It's nice to see who will be here gang stalking. Thanks for a face to add to, to add to the list. And I'm sorry. To potentially end up behind bars. I'm just painting bars over people's faces at this point. That's what I look when I. That's what I see when if I see the face of a person doing this. I'm like, if I even decide to give them the respect of looking in their direction, right? It's like I'm just painting bars over their face. That's all I'm doing. I'm just looking, just like, just picturing it, just like imagining it. And it's just like, because I already know, I say it, it becomes true. And it's just like, and I don't even have to say it at this point. It's just gonna happen. Just like, is like, that's basically what they chose their destiny to be in that moment, is to be behind bars. And it's like, it's really sad that you became a white person just for that. It's kind of like you lose the vibration of your frequency, or the frequency of your vibration, whichever, whatever, what have you, on the y-axis, because you attached to someone else's frequency, and now you're just stuck there on that one frequency, that you part of the frequency that you attached to, right? And like totally detached from your own purpose. So now you're just kind of there, hanging on to somebody else's frequency, and maybe somebody fucked around and a lot of people, a lot of somebody's fucked around and tried to attach to a certain frequency that they were not equipped to handle, and now they're just kind of like, they might as well be a kite string or a tampon string, whichever. And yeah, that's a bad way to go out. While our frequencies, like the collective, it just as high as you can go. You can go just as, but the heights you can reach are the same amount of depths you can reach. So it's just like, I found myself fighting my shadow today. Just like, because there's been like 2 consistent days of attack. Okay, cool. And as soon as I got home, I just like immediately got away from all these energies that were trying to throw and project on me, and all this stuff, and act like they're, it's partially my fault for like stirring the pot a little bit, like on social media, but at the same time, these people aren't on my friends list either, so I just made it public, and somebody guided them to my page, right? And I don't ever ask anybody to get on my page like that. Like, you can see it or not see it, and it's like, okay, you saw it, then okay, see it again, then like, just ebb and flow. But I had somebody, basically force feeding my page to people, like, hey, look at that, just like, basically, what's the word I'm looking for, harassing people with my page in a certain picture, maybe a certain view, I don't know. What is it, what's another word I'm looking for? Sexually harassing. Yeah, it's basically sexual harassment, like to the degree that they were trying to get the picture in front of people and like content, and over sexualizing me. I'm just not that person that they claim me to be. Like, I was a little out there, but I wasn't, like, I went clubbing for 2 years to get it out of my system. It's really not my scene. It's not something that I care to do, or care to continue. So I stopped cold turkey, and I was great for it. I was like, my energy was so much lighter not being around that particular scene. And and it was like, then I was I was forcing myself, and I was like, but I did not know why. It wasn't for the people though. It was or maybe it could have been subconsciously, but back then I was forcing myself, and I felt myself forcing myself, and I guess to get as much experience as I can, and to really just find out what's out there. And yeah, there's nothing there. I mean, you might have a laugh or two, a drink or two, but I'm like, I can do that shit at home. I can watch some comedy shows and play some music and be a-okay, and the music not be too loud. I don't have to worry about somebody walking up on me being overly aggressive and just uncomfortable, creepy human being, and or person. I'll say person. And like these boys 2.0s are like you know they'll compliment you, hey, beautiful, one day, and like, you reject them. It's like, oh, well, fuck you, you ugly bitch. The next second, I don't have time for that shit. Like, you could just ignore me altogether. I'll be fine. I will be perfectly okay if you never speak to me ever in the first place. Like, if that's your attitude, please go away. If you like, I don't know what it is about a lot of these mad. I mean, it's changing. It is changing. Like, a lot of them are waking up, and like, kudos to the masculines for that. Like, they're starting to see how to actually treat a female, how to actually satiate a female, so they don't have to treat them like that, or they don't feel the need to, or that's not a what's knee jerk reaction to how they respond to rejection, because that's just toxic, man. It's just like, that's so unhealed, and it's so like it's desperate. It's just kind of like you're gonna throw a straight up tantrum because you got rejected. But anyway, that's besides the point. That's another why. That's another why person. Attaching like stuff like that. Being in somebody else's business, not being able to handle rejection, it like anything that is a distraction from your purpose, right? Is it makes you in the why. It makes you a why person. And man, I've been I know lately, like my growth chakra I've been saying some I know I've always been somebody to say some wild shit once you got to know me, but it's just been like, man, like, but it's mostly as a result of people trying to put their trash energy on me, like karmic white people putting their trash karmic energy on me, and it's just like, why are you this unhappy with your life? I don't really care, like, but I'm like, go fix that shit. Like, that's not for me to fix. They're like completely disregarding the high vibrational messages I'm putting out, or the message, the helping messages, or maybe it's not helping anyone. I don't know. But I feel like it is, and some people are trying to weaponize my words against me. It's karmic stuff. It's what they do, right? And turn it into something very 3D, trying to drag me back down to their frequency, but I'm not even close. It's just like, they just get hit with some shit that they didn't even understand. And I keep on about my day. Like, I'll talk to myself, which is, basically like, okay, talking to yourself, I see, like, people pray is like a conversation with God. People think, they'll see that as odd or weird. I've never seen talking to yourself as something weird. It's just like, sometimes it's just better than talking to people, because it's just like, most people are just like really out here lying to themselves, and then they feel bad about themselves. They don't understand why. I was like, well, first you got to sort out the lie, because if you don't have the whole truth, you will understand nothing. Like you might be able to figure it out, but until you have the whole truth, there's no understanding, because there's just figuring out the truth. There's just the work, the process, right? That's what it is. Like in math, you have to show your work, right? And I remember a time back when I was in school, I solved the problem, the math problems, all of them. It was like, I don't know, like 8 of them or something. So, I don't know if it was 8 or 13. Nevertheless, I got all the answers right, but I didn't show the work, right? So, and she made me go back and redo it, and I'm like, and my shadow was like, she's being racist, and she very well may have been, because this is like, I wasn't the only colored person, melanated, what's the word? I gotta find a better term. Sun tolerant person in the room. So I was just like, I let that go. It was actually home ec, where they taught us to bake. I'm like, do they still have that anymore? Home ec? I don't think they do. But anyway, that was actually a somewhat useful class, you know, if they had been more extensive with some of the things. But anyways, um, you know, in that moment, you know, the purpose was for me to show the work, and I'm in my head thinking the lady's racist or something, which she very well may have been. But then in that moment, I had a why thoughts, a why person thought, and you know, and this may catch, this may not, I don't know, but you know, it's like I wasn't worried about just getting the work done. Just do the work. Like everybody else show their work. I'm like, oh, you know, but I didn't dwell on it. So then I went back to being a frequency, you know, a frequency person. Hopefully this makes sense. You know, it's just like off the top, as always, I don't plan this stuff. I just, you know, I just throw the video on and start talking, and whatever comes out comes out. And yeah, yeah, I haven't gone back and looked at any of my videos, and you know, like here and there I'll do things like code switch, so you'll hear me talking a completely different dialect because I am from the slums, the hood, whatever, the ghetto, whatever you want to call it. I'm from a bad neighborhood. So you know, you gotta adapt to survive sometimes. That's just what it is. And you know, sometimes it helps in not becoming or not staying a Y person, because sometimes you got to code switch to get your point across, or maybe not. Maybe you just, you know, you just raise your frequency, which is in and of itself is a code switch, but to a higher frequency. But I can't remember the last time I had to get straight hood on anybody. Like I got my point across articulately, eloquently, possibly abrasively and concisely. I got my point across. You know, it's just like I like to be short, straight and to the point. When I need something to be communicated, I'm not gonna sit and dance around it, which is where the abrasions come from. And yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to add on to this video, but right now I can't. I really can't think of it. Um, anyways, hopefully that, well, I guess I'll apologize to anybody who didn't deserve the abrasion or whatever. And I'm sorry, who didn't deserve the abrasion. Let me start that over. I apologize because I don't like to say I'm sorry, because I'm not a sorry person. Nobody can ever say I'm just sorry. Sorry is like the equivalent of lazy to me, right? And sorry to anybody I might have popped off on who didn't deserve it, which is, oh man, it might sound petty, probably nobody. Is because it's like, you know, there's a lot of people who should have just said I have a life, and who could have just been grateful for that life instead of trying to find entertainment in somebody else's struggles and drama and gossip and nonsense. And it would have saved so many people a lot of strife, a lot of headache, a lot of thinking about shit that was not necessary, a lot of backwards motion, a lot of being a Y, detaching from their frequency and becoming a Y. You know, like it really didn't need to go down, because there's like this situation I had. I was willing to talk about it. I was willing to, I try, I don't even know, like you know, offered public apologies. I offered a conversation. You know, hell, I offered a bout in the ring. I mean, that's how hard I was trying to resolve the situation, to stop it from escalating, and nothing positive worked. And then I just stopped responding. I didn't know that my energy was fueling. I didn't know that my energy, like just a little bit of my energy, they could grasp and get their little paws on, right? Their little mitts, was providing so much power for them. And I apologize for the part I played in that. I mean, shit, if I'd have known, you know, I'd have stopped that shit. I'd have just. But the thing was, the strategy was to keep coming around until I said something, right? And to keep pushing until I said something. So I guess everything played out how it was supposed to, but I still want to apologize for how far everything went, really and truly, because that was a trash situation for everyone. And I wish that the people who were innocent in the situation, like they weren't planning and plotting, they were just running their mouth, which, you know, I kind of don't feel bad, because it's like some shit you just don't need to be talking about, especially in professional settings. You know, just, you have a life. Remember that shit. Be grateful for that. Remember that you have a life, right? An individual life on your own. Even if you're in a connection, a partnership, whatever, you have a life. Like, respect that shit. Appreciate that shit. As long as you're not trying to tear anybody else down, your life is worth living. You know, you're not out here harassing people, stalking people, trying to get under somebody's skin. You know, you have a life. Confirmation. You have a life worth living. You have a life to live for. You still have chances at life, right? Because you can never be embarrassed if you're minding your business, if you're doing what's right for you, if you're healing yourself, whatever that may be, whatever that might look like for you. I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with fucking with people. I'm pretty damn sure of that. Yeah, just thank the Most High that you are, even if you're an afterthought, be thankful for that. Like, be thankful you woke up fully functioning. You know, all your limbs, all the follicles in your hair, like you're breathing without tubes, you're eating without them too. You're not connected to, and forgive me for anybody who may be honest, who may be hearing this video, is not a, you know, but yeah, be glad you have a life. Even if you are on those things, you're still alive, your heart's still beating, you can still process things. Maybe something said that you should still be here. The Most High said that you still have a purpose, you still have a life. You know, you still have a chance, you still have another day. We all have the same 24-hour, maybe not the same opportunities, but we all have the same 24 hours, and even leap years, 25/8 or whatever. You know, it's a 366. Same time, right? Same man-made concept that we're living under, and any one of us could go tomorrow. Any one of us could go right now, you know, in the next few hours, in our sleep. And just think about that. Just dwell on that, and know what you're wasting your breath on, your life force on, or spending it on. And when you get to where you're going and your book of life is read, think of what you've made a part of your book of life. And of course, not all of it. Maybe you will. Maybe there will be some growth from it, and some healing from it, and you'll reflect and you'll be able to identify it, and maybe you'll come back next lifetime as an ascended master right off the bat. That would be pretty cool. Or whatever your belief is in a higher frequency. Maybe you won't be ashamed of it. But right now, if you're ashamed of it, it's probably a good time to stop. And I'm not perfect. Definitely not perfect. I'm just trying to break cycles, break generational curses, and, you know, for whoever that chance may open up for, whoever that opportunity might open up for. And, you know, a lot of the times it's just a matter of you checking yourself. You know, like, I've had to do some serious self-reflection. I feel like this video is about to go on longer because I just had another pop-up. So, when I was a child, right, I would have dreams of Anubis. You know, so I, before I even know who he was on the 3D, if that makes sense, of, like, I knew him spiritually before I knew who it was physically. I always saw the face, the structure, all this other the staff and like the the skills and whatnot, right? And never, I don't even remember what age I was when I first heard the name. And then I finally started doing research in my adulthood and I found out who that was. I was like, oh, and then, like, there was a, like, some connection there. I don't know. But, I just know that I am a Libra. It is Libra season, Libra gang, right? And, yeah, I always have dread. I didn't know why. And I'm starting to learn why. The scales is a lot to carry. That's a lot of weight to carry. That's a responsibility. That's a whole spiritual responsibility to, and I've, in my adulthood recently, like, after Lionsgate, during Lionsgate, oh man, me and Anubis, we were, we were joined, like, we were just tied to each other. And my heart was being weighed, and it was so terrifying. I was just like, it was so, like, it was just heavy. What, can't even say terrified. It was terrifying, but it was also like, I accept whatever the outcome is, and if it's me paying karma off the next lifetime, then I'm okay with that. I will start over and learn from my mistakes, hopefully next lifetime. But I feel like I have learned from my mistakes. I'm just like, now I'm just working on different triggers that caused me to make the mistakes in the first place. But man, that Lionsgate was so intense. I was like, my heart was just like, it became heavy for the first time, actually. So it's like, my heart's always been light. I've never had, like, any real guilt about anything. Like, I know I've done things I need to apologize for, and I know I had my reasons when I did it, and they've all been, like, logical, rational. It's like, I would always check myself first, like, do I have a right or a reason to feel how I feel about this situation or this thing? Because there's never really a person I feel any ill will or negative intent to. It's like the shit they did, their character, but can I just say that's just who they are as a person? And, say that I dislike the person. Like, I don't like to accept, oh, spider. Oh, shit. Just creeping. I'm sorry. That's, I think that's a good omen. I don't know. But, it's still alive. Okay. Got distracted. Let me backtrack a little bit. Yeah, justified is the word I was looking for. Justified. I felt I was justified, but I never, I spoke on it, but action was another thing, because I know the toll, because you could talk all the shit you want to, but once you start putting action behind it, that's a serious manifestation, because manifestation is faith plus work, and faith, some don't want me to talk. Faith without work is useless. Actually, it's really pointless. It's just a neutralizer. Faith is a neutralizer, right? It balances everything out. But if you don't put the work behind it, there's nothing that comes into fruition for you. There's nothing that manifests for you. Sorry, I'm sleepy as hell. And I'm trying to focus, but yeah. And I remember one time I had a dream that was I woke up in sweats, and I woke up in tears, and it was symbolism. At first I took it as back in the day when our babies were being fed to gators, the slavery days. And then I transmuted it, and then it's like it was a dream where it was like cycles of babies being fed to alligators, like abortions or baby sacrifices being fed together. I'm just like, there's a whole bunch of different meanings that I contributed it to, but haven't quite put my finger on it yet. But I think it's more just death and rebirth. It's like pretty straightforward right there in your face. And yeah, that dream had me just messed up for a minute. Like I went quiet for a minute. I was like, whoa, that's wild. I knew it, you know, it wasn't somebody projecting on me. It wasn't somebody spell work witchcraft. And I think it was just me or the spirit realm telling me that my purpose is way bigger than I knew. And I'm still not quite sure because I don't like to assume anything. Um, but I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting there. Uh, I haven't had a dream quite that intense yet. So, since then, and yeah. I'm trying to still think. I'm like trying to fight my sleep right now. Honestly, I should be like probably laying down. But I know there's more. There's more. I probably might have to do another video for it, but whatever it is, what it is. And yeah, that like I've never had a dream that intense. And I'm not trying to. It feels like I'm not trying to figure out, but I am. I'm just kind of going through this journey called life, and I actually am living the purpose of that dream. Um, and that I have witnessed the karma of everybody that has, or heard about it. I'll say heard about it. Heard about the karma, and I have stories, man. I have so many stories of the karma people have received from, basically going out of their way to screw with me, doing me wrong in the past. And it's just like it's all coming full circle. Like I've done my wrong. I've repented and confessed and all this other stuff. And like none of it was as bad as what they were trying to do to me spiritually. None of it was anywhere close to all the fingers that was so dirty. It's like they say the dirtiest hands point the most. It's because they're trying to shake the shit off their fingers. They got they're trying to they played in so much black magic, dark spell work shit that they're trying to shake that shit off their feet because they know that shit's about to backfire. And they realize they can't shake it off. They start doing more spells and getting more on their hands, and start feeling those backfires more and more intensely. And they think the key to like not having a backfire is to do more magic. Like it's kind of what got you in the situation in the first place. So yeah, um, that was not a great idea. And yeah, so anyway, so I'm still in the cocoon, still kind of, so the vision's kind of, it's not blurry, but I'm still trying to remain as quiet as as I can. I'm working on my triggers, and yeah, it's coming along. It's been rocky because it's been a lot because I'm in the middle road of like I have so much to say, and I don't want the delivery to be I want the delivery to not resonate, but like to be understood by as many as possible. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I'm just working on my delivery, I guess, and I'm getting more comfortable speaking in front of a camera, even though I'm not speaking in front of audience. I've become more comfortable overall as I've grown through this journey because I used to be so painfully shy, especially like during my high school years. But I've always been spiritual. I've always been a very kind person, and I've always gotten like basically shit on because of it. So it's like me biting my tongue and like keeping all this energy that's been projected at me suppressed, so I don't snap on anybody, and then keeping all the stuff that has happened to me, you know, not necessarily suppressed, but, basically bottlenecking it so that it comes out so that people understand what I was talking about, what I've been talking about, and making sure also I'm justified in saying what I'm saying, which I most definitely am. And yeah, just making sure I'm not leading people the wrong way. I'm trying. Like I said, I'm not perfect. You know, like I know I can be abrasive. I can be a straight a-hole at times. Like, and like that's something that's dwindling away. It's just kind of like, okay, like actually effortlessly, because I'm like, I don't have to be an a-hole to like really be kind and still fuck up your day. Like, you know, or you really, people fuck up their own day by going out of their way to be toxic to me, you know. And yeah, because like I said, I have a, yeah, I have a life, man. I have, you know, like I'm happy for that. Like it's like I get up every day, you know, and sometimes I'm having energies thrown at me, so I get up and I feel that energy. I'm just like, no, that's not my energy. That's not my life. That's not my life force. Don't claim it. Don't accept it. You, whoever sent it, you can keep it. You know, like, and that remains true, past, present. Oh shit, peasant. Past, present, and future. You know, sorry. Yeah, that hit somebody. That was somebody in my energy right now. A damn peasant. But it is what it is. Um, yeah. So past, present, and future. Past, present, and future. And you know, these karmic cycles are like closing out. These karmas are dropping like flies out of my energy, and I'm like less and less affected by you know, I can't even say I was before because it was actually funny. It's just like when you have so much projectility, they try to overload you sometimes. I'm just like, yeah, thanks for the freak. Thanks for giving me your power. You know, like I already know what I'm about to do with it. It was, you know, just like antagonistic remarks, and it's just like on stuff that I know isn't true, and that's why it's always been funny. But it's like, damn, do you motherfuckers ever like have a life? Like, get a life. If you don't have one, get one. You know, do something better for yourself than sitting on social media, because clearly they base reality on social media, right? Like social media is where I go to relieve my thoughts, you know. So some of it is real and some of it is like, all right, since people want to play and be lurking, then I'm gonna play, you know. So it's kind of like, you know, it's that wheel of karma that kind of comes for full circle. I'm trying to figure out how to balance that out because you know, stirring the pot or whatever, playing devil's advocate, this, that, and the third. But it's just like, it's just me basically trying to get people to get their life and appreciate their life, man. It's just like it's too short here, like, you know, in this vessel. Like it's just, it doesn't make sense to do all that. Like nobody was worried about, it's like people are worried about the wrong shit. Really and truly, they're worried about the wrong shit instead of trying to grow from the shit on what I'm saying, right? They're trying to double back and use the words against in a 3D sense. I'm just like, okay, so since I've outgrown that, like, well, you're still doing that, right? You're still really okay, cool. So you know, it's just like you got to leave them to it sometimes. You know, just like, you know, show them the thing they, you know, they love so much. Show them, you know, your backside. You know, just and keep walking. It's just like all they're gonna see is like the back of your head, and you know, that's the part that's gonna be in their book of life. Unfortunately, that like them staring at you, walking away, just walking away, because it's like these people, so they're like these white people are just like kind of like they're trying to grow, you know, by using the words or whatever. It's kind of like I feel like they subconsciously want to grow, but they really don't know how to go on that path of healing for themselves. So they're kind of stuck in like a some kind of purgatory that is just like, well, hell, I need you to teach me, and I need your attention. You don't need someone's attention for them to teach you. You just need to be open and receptive. Open your heart chakra, open your crown chakra, your third eye chakra, and you know, open your mind overall. You know, maybe some of the pineal glands are still calcified or whatever. But yeah, it's just like they're a Y person. They're kind of like stuck in their, one point is in the sacral and root chakras, and the other one is just kind of out there in purgatory, and they can't find where their frequency is, you know, so they don't know how to not classify themselves, but where they find themselves. So they basically are in purgatory, not having a life, and they're trying to find where their new life, where their rebirth is. That's what I feel like. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. Everybody take care of yourself. Love you guys, and see you next video.